I'm sure you've heard of this saying before, that money cannot buy life. And this was being said by Bob Marley, who unfortunately died of cancer in 1981 at the age of 36. And at the time of his death, he was worth around 11.1 million US dollars, which when adjusted for inflation today will be around 32 million US dollars. But as we'll find out in today's video, the drugs on this list are very expensive. And because of that, they are exclusively for the super rich. If a poor man or woman has a disease that will require treatment with these drugs, we can say that it's over, sadly. Growing up and training, then initially practicing in a developing country, I know how financial challenges have resulted in the loss of countless lives because more people in my country live below the poverty line itself. Even in developed countries, many people will not be able to afford these drugs. This means that, in a sense, money can buy life. But the real question we'll ask ourselves is, how much is too much for a life? Because the truth is, life is indeed priceless. And I'm sure that the only thing that will hinder people from acquiring these medications is just that they cannot afford it. But if they can, definitely they'll go for it. So let's start today's video. The seventh most expensive drug in the world is Brineura, and Brineura is used to treat a disease known as CLN2 disease. It's a very rare medical disorder that causes progressive brain damage, and the drug is delivered every 2 weeks into the cerebrospinal fluid through a special catheter, and this catheter runs from outside the skull to the region of the infusion itself, that's inside the brain. The treatment lasts for as long as it remains beneficial to the patient. That means there's no time frame for the treatment. Annual cost of treatment with this drug reaches 700,000 US dollars. It's being manufactured by a US-based pharmaceutical company known as Biomarine Pharmaceutical Incorporation. The sixth most expensive drug is Solaris, and it's a drug used for the treatment of a rare disease that affects the red blood cells. It is also used to treat some autoimmune diseases. The drug comes in vials as a solution for IV infusion or intravenous infusion, and the dose of the drug depends on a lot of factors, which include the stage of the treatment, whether it's initial or maintenance stage, and also the body mass of the patient. So it may be administered anywhere from once a week to once every 3 weeks. The cost per vial of this drug is 6,830 US dollars, and depending on the indication, the annual cost could reach up to 700,000 US dollars or more. The manufacturer is Alexion Pharmaceutical Incorporation in the United States. The fifth most expensive drug is Carbiglu. Carbiglu is a drug used for the treatment of patients with elevated ammonia in their blood, known as hyperammonemia. Although there are conditions that cause this hyperammonemia, the indication for the use of this drug comes down to a handful of rare disorders. So the number of patients that are indicated for this kind of treatment is actually very low. It comes in the form of an oral tablet, and the price for 5 tablets, each including 200 milligrams of the active substance, is around 1,040 US dollars. And depending on the severity of the condition, the annual treatment can cost up to 790,000 US dollars. The manufacturer of this drug is Recordati, an Italian pharmaceutical company. The fourth most expensive drug on this list is Ravicti, and this drug is used to treat patients with urea cycle disorder. The use of this drug requires precisely defined dosages and intake dynamics, so it's not everybody that can actually administer this drug. But aside from that, patients who suffer from UCD need to adhere also to rigorous dietary regimens. Ravicti comes as a solution in 25 ml vials and is taken orally with a price of $5,016 per vial. The body surface area of the patient and the age of the patient actually determine the dose, and so the annual cost of the treatment could reach as high as 794,000 US dollars. This drug is being manufactured by a Germany-based pharmaceutical company known as Horizon Pharmacy. The third most expensive drug is Luxoner, and Luxoner is a drug used to treat adults and children with a special kind of retinal disease, which is a form of a genetic mutation. The drug is given intraocularly as an injection. So the drug is being injected into the eye, and even before the drug is being administered, it requires a few days of preparation in which some other immunosuppressive drugs are given to the recipient in order to prevent the body from rejecting this drug when it's being administered to the patient. So a drug requires other drugs for it to work. For the money, it's understandable. And the administration administration of this drug is carried out in a highly controlled hospital setting by an experienced eye surgeon. So it's not just anybody that can give you this drug, and it must be in a particular hospital setting. It is a one-time treatment. So unlike the other drugs, you use it one time with a price tag of around $850,000. This drug is being manufactured by Novartis in Switzerland. The second most expensive drug is Zukin. Zukin is the first and only drug that has been used to decrease the risk of mortality in Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, HGPS, which is an extremely rare disorder that affects 1 in 20 million individuals. This disease results in young people aging way more quickly than the usual pace, leading to the death of most patients before the age of 15 years from heart diseases. So prior to the invention of this drug, there had been other medications, but they were mainly used for supportive care and therapy. But now, using this drug regularly can help increase the lifespan of the patients by up to several years. It is used twice a day with a year's supply worth more than $1 million. It's being manufactured by ZEJA Biopharmaceuticals. And the most expensive drug is ZEJA. This drug was approved by the FDA in 2019 as a new gene therapy for spinal muscular atrophy. It has a price tag of $2,125,000 and thus making it the most expensive drug the world has ever seen. It's around twice the price of the second most expensive drug in the world. It comes in the form of a suspension for intravenous usage and targets children under the age of 2 with spinal muscular atrophy, including those that have not yet started showing the symptom. And for such people, diagnosis is being made through genetic testing. And the good thing about this drug is that it's a one-time treatment with a very impressive result, and it provides a definitive cure for the disease. So using it just one time can cure those affected from the disease, and thus it justifies the high price for it. This drug is also being manufactured by Novartis in Switzerland. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you learned something from it. In fact, some of the drugs in this video are even more expensive than some surgeries in the top 10 most expensive surgeries in the world. Please don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed the video, and also subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. Thank you, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.